Viewers, there's such negativism in one half of the polity in India today that even when a festival brings two organs of the state together, people look to politicize. Look at the videos on your screen. The backdrop is defined by the image of Lord Ganesha. There you can see Lord Ganesha, viewers. In the foreground are the Prime Minister and the Chief Justice of India, flanked by his wife, holy men, paying homage to the revered deity. It is Ganesh Chaturthi, and festivals are a time when leaders of state can cross the aisle and engage. It's a time, viewers, in our custom, where even enemies can sometimes close ranks, set aside their animus, and come together for the sake of an elevated spirituality, viewers, for goodness. But this harmless, benign act of socializing, of breaking down barriers, blessed by God, brought on an invitation from the Chief Justice of India to the Prime Minister, has kicked up a storm. Usual suspects in the ecosystem are pained because they think the invitation is a sign that the Chief Justice of India has supplicated before the executive. That fraternizing with the Prime Minister away from professional engagement constitutes a moral compromise with the independence of the judiciary. Viewers, Dr. Manmohan Singh, when he was Prime Minister, invited the then Chief Justice of India to his residence to celebrate iftar. No one had a problem back then. In fact, K.G. Balakrishnan went on to assume a post of some importance, and many people also had a problem with that, but that's a separate issue. I'll come to that, viewers. But in this instance, so blinded by their own compulsions of painting the judiciary as a handmaiden of the government to further a narrative of victimhood, that, oh, we never win in court because, you see, what can we do? The system is rigged against us. There is never any justice for us because the system is rigged against us. The Prime Minister controls everything. This ecosystem has forgotten that the Chief Justice of India has delivered body blows to the NDA of recent. His actions, in fact, speak louder than words. And they will certainly not be compromised just because he sent an invitation to the Prime Minister to be part of something that he believes in, something that a large number of Indians believe in, which is propitiating the gods. Viewers, the Chief Justice of India's verdicts on electoral bond case, the summary Supreme Court bail to several top-flight politicians embroiled in ED cases. You name them, viewers, from Sisodia to the Chief Minister of Jharkhand, to the closest relative of KCR, in the high-profile liquor scam, where the government has put down so much political capital, have all gone against the government. The verdict on the Supreme Court sub-quotas and other matters that have arguably eroded the image of the NDA and possibly even cost them seats in the Lok Sabha elections. If we were sold out, viewers, if our interests was sold out by the Chief Justice of India, we would have known. It would have been apparent. And he wouldn't have upset the government through his rulings either if he wanted to make a quick buck or further his own interest. But because the ecosystem wants to prove that Modi has rigged the entire system, they're pressing on with an outlandish conspiracy theory. Let me introduce you to some of what is being said. Sanjay Raut of the UBT Shiv Sena, the Uddhav Bal Thackeray Sena, has said, this meeting raises questions over the Chief Justice of India's ability to dispense justice objectively, unquote. That's what he is saying. TKS Elangovan, DMK leader, quote, many judges are given big government posts after retirement. This raises doubts on judicial independence, unquote. Viewers, if a Chief Justice moves into the Rajya Sabha right after his term, it's a problem. I agree. But do these people know that there are several tribunals that can only be headed by senior members of the judiciary? So if a judge leaves, retires, and is appointed to a tribunal, it is because that is the written rule. No one's doing anyone a favor. Look at what Indira Jaising says. She's a senior lawyer. She says, and I quote, Chief Justice of India has compromised separation of powers between executive and judiciary, lost all confidence in the independence of the Chief Justice of India. Viewers, let me tell you, there are many times that lawyers and justices also fraternize. They play cricket matches together. There are all sorts of other activities which don't necessarily fall within the professional framework. Are we to assume that there is match fixing going on there also, viewers? That these lawyers are somehow suborning the justices? I mean, viewers, does the ecosystem think that the Prime Minister can't bear down on the Chief Justice of India in private, away from the public glare? That if he has to pass on a message, he has to do it in this fashion? If the CJI is compromising the judiciary's independence, as they allege, wouldn't the other judges have held a press conference, as they have done, to expose in the past, viewers? Is the Chief Justice of India so naive that he would give the ecosystem fodder to make these baseless conjectures by inviting the media for a photo op? It makes no sense, viewers. And are we all now supposed to pretend that the ecosystem is pointing out to something unprecedented, as if Chief Justices of India and Prime Ministers haven't met and conferred in the past? Some of their meetings, viewers, let me even tell you this, and I have tweeted about this, have not been very fleshed out or detailed. There are no real extensive minutes of those meetings. Yet these people met. At every instance, viewers, did money change hands? Did influence change hands? As if Chief Justice of India haven't praised incumbent Prime Ministers in the past. That somehow was okay, and this is not. As if when they have expressed their regard for past PMs, they did this because they were furthering the executive's interests by delivering fixed verdicts or somehow ingratiating themselves so that they could become big bosses after retirement. Anyhow, if previous incidents of bonhomie haven't compromised the integrity of the judiciary, why should this joint puja be seen as a sellout, viewers? Now, here are some hard facts. I'm not just talking through my hat, viewers. I'm going to back up instances in the past of bonhomie between Prime Ministers and Chief Justices of India, or active senior members of the judiciary. And let me read them out to you. In the early years of independent India, Prime Minister Nehru, yes, the liberal, law-abiding Prime Minister, met with Chief Justice Kania. It is said these early interactions were pivotal in shaping India's judicial framework. Hardly any detailed minutes of these meetings exist. Now, let me also tell you that Jawaharlal Nehru tried to change the order of succession after the Chief Justice died in office, viewers, of that time. He wanted to bring a judge by superseding 2 or 3 other judges. Viewers, 6 of the justices of the Supreme Court revolted. They wrote letters. They said this cannot be allowed. That order of seniority must be followed. It's an unwritten rule. But Jawaharlal Nehru got the message, viewers. That didn't happen. That didn't happen in the public domain, viewers. where the Prime Minister was doing a joint puja. These things happen behind closed doors, even if they do, viewers, even if they do. There are no detailed, well-documented public records of specific meetings between Indira Gandhi and Chief Justice A.N. Ray in 1973, and he, of course, was appointed by superseding others. July 1953, Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, M.C. Chagla, in a letter to Prime Minister Nehru, wrote that he was proud of the Prime Minister as he had given the country international status. This was not seen, viewers, as the judges sidling up to Maska Maro, to put it bluntly, Prime Minister Nehru. October 1960, Justice M. Anantanarayana of the Madras High Court, in a defamation case, had described Nehru as a, quote, greatly esteemed national leader, unquote, viewers. Does that mean he was also wanting something? Or he let his bias prevail in that particular matter? April 1958, a bench of Chief Justice of M. Hidayatullah and Justice G. Bhatt of the Madhya Pradesh High Court had termed Nehru as, quote, the most beloved leader of the people, unquote. Does that mean, viewers, they were also supplicating? And subsequent judgments passed by this bench were all skewed against the spirit of the law. 1980, Justice Bhagwati reportedly wrote a congratulatory letter to Indira Gandhi for her election victory. I mean, can you believe that, viewers? What to make of all of this, viewers? Is this really a non-issue? Has the ecosystem, just to further a politics, a narrative, descended now to plucking at non-issues? To throw, as they say, muck, kichad, which is a colloquial expression in Hindi, viewers. Let's go across to a very senior member of the entire legal fraternity, Mukul Rohatgi. He joins us, former Attorney General of India. He's also senior advocate as of now. Mr. Rohatgi, you've seen these pictures, they're on your screens. What do you make of this meeting, first of all? What is your impression of it? I'm not going to ask you a loaded question. What's your impression?
I don't think one should read anything into these kind of things. I mean, this is not really a meeting also. I mean, it's an invitation from whatever I saw or read in the newspaper. An invitation by the Chief Justice to the Prime Minister to join him for Ganesh Puja. I mean, why should, the people read anything into it or politicize anything? I mean, 2 or 4 people coming together for a puja, it should hardly be an issue of any debate, according to me.
Well, some people say this is, these optics are quite unprecedented, that this has not happened before. And these meetings or this meeting is indicative of a conviviality, sir, of a conviviality who, according to your counterparts like Indira Jay Singh, Prashant Bhushan and others, has the potential to blur the lines between 2 organs of the state and erode the independence of the judiciary. That's why they're getting worked up.
I don't think, Rahul, that is correct. I mean, people in these kind of positions, whether it be the Prime Minister or a Minister or Chief Justice or a Chief Minister, I mean, they also meet at various functions, be it Independence Day, be it Republic Day, be it a meeting of judges, be it a retirement of a judge. Dinners are thrown, dinners are attended, and every time a new government comes in, the new Prime Minister will also call people for dinner, etc. These are normal civilities, as if I may call them. I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with separation of power or blurring of these kind of things, as you said. I mean, if one sees that there is a dilution of the separation of powers, etc., that is seen by actions. That is not seen by 2 people meeting or having dinner together. as one would have on various functions or various occasions. Actions would show that. I mean, let me give you an example. The court backed down or buckled, whatever you may say, whatever phrase you may use, is really what happened in the aftermath of the emergency. The infamous case decided by the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court said that fundamental rights will remain suspended during the emergency. That is a time where I would say the court did not stand up to what it should. And whatever be the reason, that was a case where I would say the court buckled. And that infamous judgment was ultimately overruled by the Supreme Court. Therefore, I don't think one should make much out of, these kind of things and politicize, and that too a puja, for God's sake. I don't think that's of any importance.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the emergency because there are people who say, and you've heard this probably discourse over the last 9 years, that the judiciary under the NDA has not lived up really to what the people expect of it. And therefore, this display of closeness, this very obvious display of closeness, adds to the impression that it is supplicating and reinforces a culture, according to them, of quid pro quo, sir. That is what is being said in high places. Now, how do you respond to this observation, that there is a mili bhagat, as they say?
Look, I don't think this question should be addressed by reading much into meetings. As I told you, meetings have nothing to do with it. You may have meetings, but the court or the backbone of the court may be ramrod straight, and the court may not buckle at all. Yes, people do talk that in the NDA in the last so many years, things have not been as they are. Some judgments, I would say that some judgments on the issue of liberty of people under PMLA and other cases, some judgments delivered 3-4 years were not correct. But in the last few months, I have seen the court has corrected itself. The course is being corrected. So these things have happened, but I don't think that there's any repeat of a situation which was during the emergency at all. No, I don't think so.
Well, the people say, and let me just play devil's advocate, the warming of the Chief Justice of India to the Prime Minister, close to retirement, they say is being called an attempt to bag a sinecure, and they take you back to one of the former Chief Justices of India, Mr. Gogoi, who accepted a Rajya Sabha post right after delivering a very consequential judgment, the Ayodhya judgment, sir. Does this line of questioning lack justification in the light of the Gogoi precedent? Let me put it there, out there for you to answer.
No, see, questioning such a meeting at a puja certainly lacks justification. The example which you gave of Justice Gogoi taking up that position immediately thereafter, I think, personally speaking, that was not a correct decision of Justice Gogoi. He should not have taken. Whether it was some kind of a quid pro quo or not, I don't know. But I don't think he should have taken that position. That did harm to the court's reputation. But as of today, reading something into a meeting, which happened at a puja, why question this? Why not question the fact that the Chief Justice and judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court or the higher echelons meet government or heads of government very frequently at various functions? Why don't you question that? Why doesn't somebody question the fact that the Rashtrapati calls all judges for dinner when a new Chief Justice comes or a Chief Justice retires? It's things like that. These are matters, as I said, of being civil. And that too, a question of a puja. I don't think one should read anything into it and condemn people just because, if somebody invites somebody for a puja. No.
Well, thank you, Mr. Rohtgi. You've been very objective. You've called a spade when it needed to be, especially on the point of Mr. Gogoi. Thank you very much. Let's open this up, viewers, further. We have with us some distinguished members of not just the judiciary, but also of the legal fraternity. There's S.N. Dingra, former judge of the Delhi High Court, J. Anand Dehadrai, advocate, Sumit Chander, another advocate, Tuin Sinha, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. So let's open this, let's have a conversation. But I want to begin almost one-on-one, if you please, with someone that has really served the cause of justice very admirably. And that is the former judge, S.N. Dingra. Dingra ji, thank you very much for speaking to me. I just want to ask you a couple of questions here. We've heard Mr. Rohtgi has taken an admirably balanced position. But this entire conversation is taking place, what the ecosystem is raising, these doubts, in the backdrop of constant talk that there is some match fixing that has gone on over the last few years, that judgments have been too favorable towards the government. And you know, sir, what has been said. Now, of course, when the judgments are going the other way, then people are getting very excited and saying now, yes, suddenly the judiciary has developed a backbone. But can we actually look at these optics and be as objective when there is this conversation in the backdrop, Mr. Dingra?
So see, one thing I have strong objection against saying that judiciary under NDA and judiciary under UPA. There is no judiciary under NDA and no judiciary under UPA. Judiciary is judiciary. And if you say judiciary under NDA, then you have to admit and say it that this judiciary was appointed by NDA and is working for NDA, and earlier judiciary was appointed by UPA and was working for UPA. The facts are totally contrary, because NDA cannot appoint judiciary and UPA till after 93 could not have appointed judiciary. Prior to 93, judiciary was being appointed by the government, and after 93, judge's case, judiciary is being appointed by judiciary itself. Although I have strong reservations about this collegium system, but that is not the issue today. The issue is attending of Prime Ministers at the house of Chief Justice of India, a puja ceremony. This was a personal function at the house of Chief Justice. It was his liberty. I think you should give him at least this much independence, whom he wants to invite and whom he doesn't want to invite in his personal function. If he has invited somebody, say the Prime Minister of India, then it is objectionable. If he would have invited Mr. Kharge or Rahul Gandhi, then he would have been great independent judge. This state of affairs in the mind of those critics, I think, is a very sorry state of affairs, that you are not even believing the topmost judicial constitutional functionary of this country, who has been Chief Justice and who has been Chief Justice of Supreme Court as well as Chief Justice of High Courts. Now, taking this an incident of his biasness or his compromising position is, see, a comment of, I would say, the minds who are themselves polluted. See, these very judges, all the judges of Supreme Court and High Courts, attend personal functions of the senior advocates, day in, day out. They don't put pictures on the, you see, Twitter or X handle, but this is a fact that these judges attend personal functions of these very senior advocates, and on the earlier, if on the previous night they have attended function, on the next day same advocate will be appearing before the judge, would be arguing the case. If that is not biased, if they are not they don't get biased by attending functions of these very senior advocates, and they get biased because one chief executive has attended the personal function. I think there cannot be more vilification of this office.
So, Justice Dingra, why is this
what is being
ecosystem
done.
then making these scurrilous accusations? Baseless, let's put it like that, baseless.
You see what for this ecosystem is. The ecosystem exists only for this vilification. They have vilified Chief Election Commissioner. They have vilified all investigating agencies if the case goes against them. Now the turn was of judiciary, so they have, they found an opportunity, and they seek, opportunities for how to vilify. They are vilifying the whole nation. You see, if you hear that Sikhs have no right to wear pagdi and Sikhs have no right to wear kada, and they will find it difficult to visit Gurdwara if this is the kind of mental status of this ecosystem, what else you can expect?
Okay.
You cannot expect anything more from them. That they will,
so it's political. So you're saying it's political, it's political. They just want to constantly cover up for their own failures by suggesting that the system is rigged against them. That's what you're saying, Justice Dingra.
You see, I say the system is rigged, but not by visit of Chief Prime Minister.
Right.
This system is rigged because this system gives relief only to rich persons.
True.
And only in those cases where highly paid advocates who charge 20 to 21 lakh per hearing.
That is something that a lot of people have said. Yes, Dingra Saab. Yes, I understand. That's a different.
People did not raise objection.
Yeah.
You see, this is a system where poor men have no say.
True. That, of course, is a larger debate. Justice Dingra, that's a larger debate. Now, I want to bring in, just stay on with me. I want to bring in also, just stay on with me, sir, please. Please grant me that benefit. Sumit Chander is here with us. Sumit Chander, hello. Yeah, can you hear me? J. Anand Dehadrai, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, great.
Clear.
So,
Loud.
Sumit Chander is there. Sumit Chander, I mean, what are we doing here? Why are we impeaching people, indicting them for this? I mean,
Rahul,
I wish...
I'd like to answer this.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me just bring in Mr. Chander also. I would like it. In fact, if Rahul Gandhi and the Prime Minister would do a joint puja, wouldn't we all like it? Wouldn't it be a nice gesture? Would we then say there's a fixing between the two? That one is the B team and one is the C team of the other?
See, first of all, the words indicting, accusing, I think they are very harsh and strong words we are using in the present context. I do say that there are a lot of lawyers associations who are expressing their protest over this visit. That visit is not because they are trying to accuse anybody of anything. The protest is basically to ensure that the independence of judiciary is not only, like in all legal matters, we say that justice should not only be done, it should seem to be done. Similarly, whatever has taken place, I'm coming to that. There are Supreme Court judgments itself, Supreme Court in several cases, including Chandrakumar, Keshavanand Bharati, wherever they have said that integrity of the judiciary is in a democratic system of government is the highest importance for securing fearless functioning of an independent and efficiency of judiciary. What we are saying here is not that it has been compromised in any manner, but it is also at the same time, you cannot in today's social media platforms and everywhere float out that in a personal event, not in a state event.
They are saying there's they're saying there's corruption, there's quid pro quo. They are saying many judges are given big posts after retirement. This raises doubts on judicial independence. Some people are talking about some judgment that is pending with regards to Maharashtra and that entire fiasco of breaking the MLAs, etc., and that they have been put on hold. 1 minute, let me bring in J. Anand Dehadrai on this point. Yes.
Hi, Rahul. Good evening. You know, as a proud Maharashtrian and as a member of the bar who practices in the Supreme Court, I'm absolutely incensed by this ridiculous statement that a senior member of the bar, Indira Jaising, has put out. I'm equally incensed today, and I'm very saddened by what Mr. Chander has said. I have personal regard for him. But this is an absolute non-issue. Look at what's happening. This is a calculated attempt, according to me, to browbeat the judiciary by a certain cabal. When you don't get orders your way, what do? You start targeting certain individuals who occupy high office. There's a trend today that you target these individuals, you try and embarrass them. Now, insofar as the Chief Justice is concerned, I can rattle off 5 or 6 judgments to you right now, which have been held completely against the government. Whether you take 377, the Mines and Minerals case, which was recently decided, you take the Aadhaar Act, in which, in fact, the Chief Justice wrote a dissenting opinion against the government.
Okay.
There are so many instances, Rahul. And one more thing. Are we questioning even the integrity of the Prime Minister? Is it said that the Prime Minister has some personal case listed before the Chief Justice in which he's going to get some favor? There's no case of the Prime Minister.
Okay.
The Prime Minister's integrity is not at question.
Gentlemen, just hold your thoughts. J. Anand Dehadra, I want you to stay on with me because this is a very important story we are breaking. There's a development. Tuhin Sinha, please stay on with me. We'll